Oh.
Mom!
Are we good? Are we live? Are we here with the Mom Podcast booth? What? Hi. It's always an interesting experience walking into the convention because there are people here want to love one another. I mean, I think that's what happens essentially. That everybody wants to meet new people, see people that they've met or seen on television, meet them, that kind of thing. And also, of course, go shopping. But there's always this moment when you walk in where you'll see a group of people that will say, oh my gosh, hey Delta, it's great to see you. And there'll be like one other person in their group that's kind of like, no, I mean, it's what it is, but I mean, it's fine. You know, there's always that person, I talked about it before, that person that'll sit at the club and they'll like stir their drink and they'll kind of look like, I could do that. It's not even, I could do that. Well, do it. If you want to do it, get in drag because this is the place to get in drag. I'm seeing people in cargo shorts and thigh-high boots working the hell out of it. Better than half the queens on RuPaul's Drag Race, certainly better than me. Because listen, I was smart today. But I tell you what, you have to match, or at least coordinate your handbag, right? Once upon a time, it was about matching your handbag. Now they say just coordinate. And I say you can mix metals. I think that's fine. The bottom is it's not as warm. That's a little cooler. This is a little warmer. But when you bring it up, no one really notices all that. And of course, if you have a big handbag, you can sort of like conceal, you can advertise and then withhold. I did a gig last night. Was anybody at the Globe Theater last night? Anybody? Couple people were at the Globe Theater. Listen, I'm the first bitch to cut a number. I will be at a show, and when anyone's like, oh, the show's running a little bit long, I'm like, cut my number. They don't want to see it. Let the girls that are gonna dip and do all of that stuff, let them be up there. I will gladly, I want my money. You got to run me my check, but I'm not going to go on stage. But last night was magical because we got to see lots of dancers. We got to see some illusion. We got to see some things to get slowed down a little bit. So a little bit of everybody was featured. We had a really, really good time with that. I had never been in the Globe Theater before, but I've been to a lot of the theaters there on Theater Row. And it dawned on me, we were sitting looking around in the basement, and we started to wander through some of the rooms that were sort of abandoned. And when we got in there, I was like, this reminds me of the set of Dragula, kind of. Well, that's where Dragula is filmed, is at the Globe Theater. And then I needed confirmation, so I was sitting in a sofa much like this, and I leaned back, and there was a box fan, and it said Boulet Brothers on it. So I was like, listen, I'm not crazy. I know they were here. So anyway, we did that last night. It was a blast. I was thinking maybe we could open it up to some questions. Like, it could be about whatever. It could be about, well, we could talk about me. I don't know much about that, but we could talk about whatever you want. We could talk about these other shows. Why not? It's Mom Podcast Day. So if you have a question, come on up and ask. And if not, well, that's fine too. You could just stare at me and I'll stare at you, and I bet you I'll win.
I want to start the questions.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Big Dipper, huge fan.
Hi, Big Dipper.
I'm curious about your role as a cat parent, because I know you have cats.
I do.
But you don't like gush about them all the time.
Well, I feel bad because I have two cats. I've always had two cats in my home at one given time. So when one and then they're not possessions, but when one passes, I always feel like the other one is going to need someone. So I always go to the shelter and get another cat. And I feel bad gushing about them because one pays more attention to me than the other. And so I feel like somehow they're going to get a social media account and find out. And they're like, this is why I don't like you, because you never talk about me. But cats, I feel like, have their own personality. They have their own thing. It's sort of a little bit different from dogs, because cats are kind of like, I'll come to you when I come to you. And if I want you all the time, I'll have you all the time. But if I don't come to you all the time, that is my prerogative, right? And so I have two cats. They're both named after ballroom dances. So one is tango and one is cha-cha. And those are because my partner is a former ballroom dancer. So that's just the nature of it.
When you're like ready to go to a gig and in full drag, are you ever like, oh shoot, I forgot to scoop out the kitty litter? And then you have to do this very unglamorous thing in full glamour?
No, I don't do that part. I don't do that part. No, remember I said I have a partner, and He's a lot more patient than I am. Yeah, like I can make the biggest fuss about everything, and he's like, everything's gonna be fine. I don't know why you're overreacting. You realize that sometimes there's just gonna be 2 ice cubes in a soda, and you're gonna be fine. We have ice at home. You realize that these people are doing their goddamn best at the drive-thru. If there's no more tomatoes for your hamburger, there's just no more tomatoes. He's very patient, and I'm not. And that's what I admire about him. I think that's why we're a good fit. But I admire that about him, and I wish I had that. That's one of my biggest character flaws, is the fact that I'm extremely impatient. Hi, gorgeous.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
What does your shirt say?
It's Prince. It's a Prince shirt.
It is a Prince shirt.
From
Love.
Side of the Times.
Love it.
Yeah. I'm an elementary school music teacher, actually.
Okay.
But I'm a elder femme of a certain age,
Okay.
of sort of our generation, and I wonder, I didn't always start out as an elementary school teacher. Retirement was on my mind.
Okay.
But I wonder if you can speak to flexibility in just being open to different options in your career and how that served you over your career.
Yeah, I think that's very. I think that's very important. No one's path is like this.
Right.
I feel like no one's path goes like this. Sometimes you come off a little bit and then you get back on, or sometimes you stay on this road over here and you're like, I just want to keep going that way. I love this way. I think it has to serve you. And I always talk about drag, for instance, because that's just what I know. I don't know a lot of other career paths, but in drag, I do. There was a time, Dipper, we were talking about this the other day. We were talking about the idea of drag contests and people entering bar contests or nightclub contests. And what happens is, when I was coming up, that was the only way really to be seen, was to show up. And I'm very open about the fact that when I was first doing drag, I would go to Raja shows, and I was the person that would pick up tips. And I just thought that was a way to be seen. And then eventually I started doing drag, and then we became friends. And then she became a bit of a mother figure in my life. And so now, fast forward to now, when we try to host these contests, the problem is that there are a lot of people that don't have the same access. So they may not have cars to get there. They may not have the money to fully put together. So then we jump into the concept of being elitist about it. And, are we offering the same opportunity? But unfortunately, for me, the conversation of elitism when it comes to drag really centers around the art form of drag, and the fact that you cannot be a professional drag queen unless you do drag as your art first. And then someone will eventually pay you for it. But you really do have to put in a lot of unpaid work, and it sucks. But there is no job work program with this. There is no paid training. It just doesn't work that way. And I've had a lot of people come to me very recently when I did propose the idea of doing a contest where the people on stage would be winning $100. And many people said, if you want me to try to win $100, you're going to have to pay me, book me. But I don't know them. I've never seen them, and they've never been an artist. So in that path, it becomes interesting. Now, since I've been doing drag, I had the opportunity to work on the show as a Drag Race as a producer for a couple of seasons. That was an interesting aspect. But with that came another opportunity. Then people were saying, well, now you could work in the industry doing a lot of things, but I didn't want to do that. I only wanted to work with one celebrity client at a time. So now that I worked with Rue, then I had the opportunity to start working with Martha Stewart, and then working with Martha Stewart's Halloween look and a couple of other things for our cocktail parties, that kind of thing. So there are routes where it could happen, but only on your terms, because ultimately you have to be happy. Are you happy in the work that you do?
I am. I'm very happy.
Yeah.
And to kind of second part of that, as someone now who mentors young people and sometimes young questioning, if not queer people, as they get into older elementary,
sure.
I wonder if you can speak to an experience you might have had as a young person, being kind of mentored or spotted by someone older and kind of nurtured in your queerness.
Yeah. Definitely. I definitely can speak to that. My drag name comes from another drag entertainer here in Los Angeles who's very, very popular, who goes by the name of Mama. And Mama is a legend in the drag community, very campy. And when we talk about camp too, I always think about, a lot of people think throwing anything on that's irreverent or doesn't make any sense just because it's around, that is camp. And that is not camp for me or for my definition. Mama was somebody who was bigger than life. The hair was bigger. Everything, there was a storyline that happened. And so when I first started doing drag, I had maybe one wig. I was in beauty school. I didn't have a lot of stuff. And at the bar where I was frequenting, they were having a ladies of the 80s night, and they needed a Delta Burke. And I had no drag name. My given name is Gabriel, but people were calling me Gabrielle because at the time, everyone believed that in order to do drag, it needed to be feminized. So they thought, oh, well, if your name is Gabriel, the only way you can do drag is to be Gabrielle, which we now know, thank God we know, that that's not the case. You don't have to feminize anything to be an entertainer or have a point of view. But at the time, that's how it worked. And so I understood that. And then I was their Delta Burke character. And then they were like, ooh, you really worked it. And they were like, you should be Delta Work. And so that's where that came from. And that person gave me my first wig, really helped me. And they, some people say your drag mother is the person who first put you in drag. For some people, that's the philosophy, but I have a lot of drag mothers. Mama is a drag mother to me. Raja is, of course, a drag mother to me. There's a lot of people that are. And also drag fathers. I mean, I say you don't even really need those titles, per se. It's just the people that influenced you, the family that built you up. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Hi.
My name is Maz.
Hi.
I'm from Denver. And I quit drinking about 10 years ago, and just wondering, I know you're not a big drinker, how do you navigate, or do you have trouble, or have you ever had trouble in like the drag space where it's so prevalent drinking and everybody around you is drinking? Have you ever had trouble kind of navigating through that?
Right.
Has it been an issue?
It's not. I mean, I'm a social drinker, so if I'm somewhere, and this is my rule. If I'm going to stay there, or if someone else drove me there, then I will have something to drink. But for me, because I'm generally the person who's the designated driver, and I'm the person that always gets myself to my gigs, I'm not leaving my car anywhere. I mean, that's just me. But I'm an only child. I was raised by a single parent. So all of this responsibility is was built into me, and I just carry it everywhere. And so I've never really felt that pressure. There have been situations where, like, it's common when you do travel. In fact, you mentioned Denver. I worked in Denver a couple of times, and it's sort of commonplace where the house entertainers want you to feel welcome. And they say, hey, let's do a shot together. We want to feel good. So I'll do that because in that case, I'm already out of town. Somebody else is driving, so I don't have to worry about it. But I've never really felt that pressure. But I also feel like I don't think anyone should feel bad about standing their ground. Some people do drink frequently, and then maybe there's just a night where they're like, I'm not drinking tonight. I have an early day. I think we're in a space where people hopefully are a lot more respectful about it. Yeah.
And just in case I don't get the chance, I have a gift for you.
Oh my gosh.
I ordered this months ago.
Oh my gosh.
When I knew it was coming, and so when you posted your post a couple of days ago, it made me laugh even more. So it's on the other side. Turn it, flip it.
Oh my gosh, you're kidding. Rest in peace, Souplantation. Oh
That's
my
my
God.
favorite episode.
This is the best shirt ever. Ever. They didn't have an extra small? Oh, just kidding.
Yeah.
This is so beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Delta, will you explain why Souplantation has such a warm place in your heart to everybody?
Well, and not just a warm place in my heart, but a warm place in my whole body. Yeah. Well, people, I think, does anyone listen to any of these podcasts? The Very That podcast? So Souplantation is the one and only place that I could always go to and find exactly what I wanted to eat, because it's obviously a variety of foods. But it's also the only place that allowed me to shit on their dining room floor and return. I was able to return. Yeah, I didn't know that was going to happen. And I was just literally in the middle of the restaurant, and I went, oh my God, I'm not going to make it to the bathroom. And there you went. And other people were dining, and I walked out proudly like, nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. It's a summer day. I'm wearing 7-inch inseam shorts, which I shouldn't have been wearing, but I was wearing them and they were tan, and everyone knew. And I walked out and I returned triumphantly. But I just found out the other day that Souplantation as a company is no longer happening, but in La Mesa, California, they are opening a Souplantation on July 4th. I don't know the whole parameters, but I know that they are opening one. They have an Instagram page and everything, so I'm excited.
Should we contact them about doing a live Very That podcast at Souplantation?
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we should actually look into renting a bus and selling tickets on the bus for all of us to go there. Maybe not on July 4th, but maybe like let them work out like 2 weeks of kinks and then we'll go. We want to know what the soup list is. That's what we want to know. I like navy bean soup, but that's me. Hi, Gorge.
Hi, hello.
You're wearing my favorite color, which is animal print.
Okay, I love that. Thank you. You're welcome. Or yeah. Anyway, my question for you is, I don't know if you've ever felt this way, but if you've ever felt like stagnant in your life,
Yes.
where you felt like you can't really like,
Yes.
kind of like outreach to what you want to achieve or kind of get in the right zone. And I want to know, what did you use or what did you do to kind of like spark that joy in you, or kind of get on the right path? Because I know
Right.
that drag before you said you kind of get the first wig and then you worked it, so you're adult to work. But like before that, if you ever encountered something, how
Right.
did you kind of spark that joy to get on that path?
That's such a good question. I think we all feel that way at some point. I think it's easy for us to look at memes on Instagram that say, "Don't compare yourself to other people." That's so easy. And when people tell you, "Oh no, you're doing great," but we always have something inside of us that says, "Am I really doing enough? Am I really doing exactly what I want to do?" Especially when you get a taste of something else and you go, I think I could really enjoy that. Maybe I should do that. And that kind of goes hand in hand with the question that the other person asked earlier. I do get stagnant, especially, I'll tell you what, especially in the situation that we're in right now. When I walk around from booth to booth, it's easy to see people that and this is gonna sound fucked up, but it's the truth. It's easy for me to see people who I think are 100% not present in what they do. They have no interest other than I'm here to make money. I don't care who I make it from. I don't care if they know that I'm present. I did what I was supposed to do and they can fuck off. And I know that happens. That's not everybody, but that's a lot of people. The problem is that when you see that, it's easy to go, wow, I really appreciate being here. Like, I really appreciate that these people let me be on their podcast, and they were like, you just planted a seed for us because we have something for you that you don't even know is available to you. And we're gonna make it happen, not for this, but for this. All of this was gonna happen, and I had no idea. But they laid that groundwork when they invited me in, you know what I mean? And so when I see all this, I think to myself, there are other people watching, and it may not happen right here, or it may not happen, but the seed is planted. You know what I mean? I really believe that, and I'm the first person to be like, oh, bitch, this is a fucking mess. I'm tired of this. I want this. I want that. Why does she get that? Why do they get that? Why is these people going to Taco Bell brunch? Why are these people going to? Well, why are they? I don't know, but it's not for me to know. And again, this is very easy for me to say, right? Because it's a podcast. But at the same time, I have to believe it at some point. I have to really believe it. And there are days where it's so, I'm sure for anybody, whether you're a nurse or a school teacher or you're an artist who does, fiber art or whatever you do, we all have it in us where we're like, fuck, man, when is it my turn? When is it my turn? Every day is our turn because this whole situation, but I always go back to Willem in Alaska because I really love doing the podcast. I have a really fucking good time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You really opened my eyes.
Thank
and kind
you.
of made me realize gotta be for your own self sometimes.
You really do.
So I appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Thank
I
you so much.
appreciate you.
I love you so much.
Thank you.
And I'll always listen to you.
Thank you,
Anything
babe.
Gotta say.
I appreciate it. Look who's here. Everyone, Fina Barbital is here. Fina Barbital, legendary. Are you good? You got it? Do you have enough dress on?
Well, I wanted to make sure I could cover up the sores.
The sores. She had to wear this to cover up all her sores, everyone. This is Fena Barbitall, a legend from Boston who is now living in Los Angeles.
Yes.
We're talking about a hairstylist, a celebrity stylist, the beast that handles beasts. Tell everybody what you do.
I am the beast from the Far East. I brought my own Instagram filter.
Perfect.
So I will not be caught off. Try and get a bad picture with this thing.
Right.
Well, we're here today, and I don't know if you know this, but we put this all on for you.
You did it for my 16th birthday.
No, this is all just, we just, Delta, we want you to know that we love you, but when you...
Tell me.
When,
I hate you already.
when you go through a drive-through,
Yeah.
sometimes
It's going to be okay?
It is. It's going to be
See.
okay. You know.
Where's Davey? Is he still here? Davey brought Fina over here.
I understand about the Trenta iced coffee. I fucking hate that shit.
Now listen, I got to tell you about Fina. Me and Fina have been knowing each other for a very, very long time, and we were connected through other people on drag races. Initially, how we knew one another through Jujubee and through Trixie and through Katya. And Fina works exclusively with some of these people as their stylist, as their go-to person. Unfortunately, but when the pandemic first started, you know, all of us were a little bit lost as to what we were going to do and who our pod was going to be and how that worked. And everyone was, you know, taking tests and trying to keep on top of it. So my partner, as you know, designs clothing. Fina designs clothing. And we all got together and we were like, we're safe. We're in one area. Let's make masks for a couple of days. So we got together and we were just making masks.
It was incredible. Davey was so kind to be like, hey, do you want to make some money at a time when nobody had any money? And it was like, that honestly got me through because like she would go out and get us lunch. We would just sit there and complain the whole day. My favorite thing to do.
It was really a moment where we were like, is this, you know, we all lived through it. Fortunately, we're all seeing the other side of it. And we're back here now doing what we did a couple of years ago.
What does the other side of this look like?
The other side of this is flat. I was in a car. You see that? Does it look that bad, honestly?
No, it's talking about the dress.
Oh, the dress? That's flat as well. There's a hole in my tights that's literally this big in the back.
Mine too. I've just got these like, it's these leggings from.
Oh, that's not tights.
No, they are tight though. They're supposed to be baggy.
Oh, these are cargo shorts. Okay. No, I'm wearing these tights till the bitter end. There's a brand we used to like to get in downtown called Angelina, and they're gone. They don't have them anymore.
Yep.
We used to get them for $10 a pair. Now we're going to go back to Capizio at what, 22, 28?
Oh, mama, it's 27.
So this pair that I'm wearing, I'm not joking when I tell you my entire ass is sitting on here. Well, there's fishnets and other stuff.
You can tell the pandemic and the recession has really hit when you go down to Lucky Lingerie and you see the prices slashed out with a higher one marked over in a different color marker.
Yeah.
That's how you know when the tights have gone up.
I'm going to start wearing these and then ankle boots, and no one will know. They'll think it's full tights.
A good compression sock.
And tell me about your hair. Who made that?
This is a vanity.
Of course it is.
This is a vanity in like my new favorite dolly. In what is this? Ginger LeBon.
Ginger LeBon.
Literally, thank God for the hard front wig comeback.
Speaking of the pandemic, so when that happened, one of our favorite wig designers and probably one of the favorite people that you follow on Instagram, Vanity from Wigs by Vanity in Australia, decided to jump in front of the problem that was happening, which was they weren't able to get the same quality of lace that they made their wigs with. So they said, I tell you what I'll do. I'll go back to the original days of drag when we only had hard front wigs.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll do it like, and you have one right there. Do it like no other.
But like the olden days, like the hard front wig, when you did not have a lace front wig at all back then, but you just wore that hard front wig like it was.
Yeah, you
and
wore
no
it
one
like
could
that.
tell you otherwise.
No, they couldn't. The first lace front wig I ever saw was Manila on Drag Race.
Yes.
And she had it, and we were like, what? How? You must be rich.
18 inches.
How do you achieve that? We had no idea.
18 inches of this, literally this.
Yeah, but the thing is, and it looked like, it was that long, and it looked like Canadian bacon around her hairline. It was so dirty.
I love your brown headband.
Yeah, the brown headband. That's what it looked like. But she had it, and we didn't.
Well.
So look now.
Rich.
But now we're both wearing hard front wigs. Wigs by Vanity Wigs,
I've
which
got
we
a hard
love.
front face.
You have a hard front face. Well, that's why you have this over it.
Exactly.
18 inches of lace.
Thank
you for stopping by. Fina Barbital.
Thank you, guys.
I had no idea that Fina was going to stop by, but I asked this doll who had a bunch of stuff going on, but was one of the only people that was like, I will absolutely get in drag. I will absolutely stop by, because this is not only my friend and my family, but also a friend of the podcast who stepped in when we needed someone. This is Monistat, everyone.
Hi. It's so weird talking to actual live people as opposed to talking to you on Zoom.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, here we go again. We were talking about hard front wigs before you walked up, and you also have a hard front wig from another one of our favorite wig makers, James Mansfield. This is a James Mansfield piece.
You know what? I wanted to do the most minimal effort today. I know there's a lot of beautiful people out there, a lot of beautiful queens from all over the country. Girl, you know what? I'm going to be 40 soon. I don't give a fuck anymore.
You look like you give a fuck. You look gorgeous.
I'm wearing like whatever. Sneakers, girl, sneakers.
Look at.
Yes.
I know. It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's
I love
perfect.
this.
Thank you. Yeah, we just did this for today.
That's cute.
Davey made it, and
Yeah.
I wanted, I wanted like Laura Ashley curtains, but in a dress.
You do love your Laura
I
Ashley.
love Laura Ashley.
You love your
I've
Laura
said it before.
Ashley.
I post in my Instagram all the time the pictures of like Victorian homes or craftsman homes. I'm telling you right now, and I'm testifying that if I ever get a house like that and you come over, do not be mad if from floor to ceiling, Laura Ashley drapery and bedspreads and ruffles and I know you're gonna be like, this is so ugly. This is like Kelly Kapowski's like apartment or something or bedroom. That's what it's gonna be.
That's always
I love
been your
it. I
fantasy.
need it.
That's
I
your
need the
fantasy.
flowers. I
Jessica
need them.
McClintock.
And you,
1986.
of course, always rhinestoning everything.
Well, that's the only way I can get high these days off of E6000.
You and Raja both love rhinestoning, and you do it fast.
Yeah.
I have very little patience. I don't know how you do it.
Sit there, pop on like a soap opera, maybe watch some porn and just like.
Now, you've been at DragCon. You've had a presence here pretty much every single DragCon, whether it's been by yourself, with Bobby Trendy, a lot of different people. If you do not know, Monty, generally when Bobby's working a booth, Monty is working with Bobby because they work hand in hand together. Very good friends.
Yeah.
But there's something that you have cornered here at DragCon that not a lot of people talk about.
Well, you know what? There's a lot of underground dick sucking in one of these bathrooms.
Listen, I didn't say it, and I don't approve of it.
Every year I've been very lucky. This is the one year I have not attempted to go get some cock in the bathrooms.
But you've only
upstairs.
been here for 15 minutes.
For 15 minutes. Girl, I'm not fucking
She's trying to
this up.
brag.
I have another gig tonight. I'm just staying on all day. So
Is it?
No cock slapping on my fucking cheeks or none of that, girl.
Now, how often do you keep makeup on from, say, a brunch gig to a night gig? If you would, do you normally? Is that something you would do?
No, I like to refresh.
Same.
But like it's a hot day,
Yeah.
And my gig I don't feel like going to my gig until midnight. So, like maybe, like I wore nude lipstick. Maybe it'll match the tip of the dick.
You're disgusting.
Oh yeah, I know. Thanks, girl.
But here's the thing: if you're ever doing drag, and you have your makeup on, and then you have to do something much later, if you are concerned about the hair growing through on your face, and if you're not, that's fine. You don't have to be concerned about it. But if it is something you're concerned about, your eye makeup will pretty much always stay all day long. But if you need to shave, you can shave.
Girl, I'm Asian. We're hairless. I'm like a hairless cat, honey. This is
Perfect.
Never happened.
That's perfect for you. Is your ass hairless as well?
My ass is also hairless.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
My ass is hairless.
Not for even in the middle.
You know what? I've never actually checked that middle area. I don't know, but everything around it is hairless.
I can smell with you sitting next to me that you've never checked that. That's.
Now I want to ask you: have you met any celebrities yet at DragCon?
Yes.
Other than our fellow drag sisters. of
I
course.
got to meet a couple of years ago somebody that was very important to me, and that was Judy Tenuta. I got to meet Judy Tenuta here, and she gave me her card and called me, and we talked about doing a couple of things together. That was just prior to the pandemic, and Judy Tenuta is very important to me, especially from back in the day. So that was a big name for me.
I really want to ask you this: have you heard RuPaul DJing yet?
I heard that RuPaul did DJ yesterday.
Okay.
But I wasn't here for that portion.
Yeah, I want to know if it's like a press play situation or does she actually like mix?
I don't know. I know she
songs?
enjoys music.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. This is like a fun little secret that maybe I should save for the book. I don't know. I was sitting with Alaska talking about a book the other day.
Okay.
And but this is just a fun little story. When we went to the UK to shoot the Pirelli calendar with RuPaul, RuPaul was the Queen of Hearts. So I came in as her hairdresser for that. And we flew over, and it was a big deal, and we were very well taken care of. But when we got there, Edward Enninful, the director of British Vogue, was the director of the looks for the book. And I had all these different creative hair pieces out because they wanted like a big ball, and they wanted this and that. So we packed all of them when we got him there. And he said, honey, these are beautiful, but we just decided that she's wearing a hat. And I was like, okay. He's like, and Rue did come up and say, you did exactly what you needed to do. Just chill out. You're paid to be here, whether they use you or not. So we waited there, and I forgot the story. I'm building the story. Where did we start?
Celebrities at DragCon.
Celebrities at DragCon.
Celebrities
So
at
then
DragCon.
when we were there shooting, Naomi Campbell was there.
Wow.
Shooting. Whoopi Goldberg was there shooting. But they were all on separate sets. And it was my first time experiencing like being around people, but knowing like you don't go up to those people because you are an employee, right? Like you don't go up to them and just ask. As much as I thought like, ooh, it would be cool. I've never really been the person that wants to get those pictures just because I feel like it's a little bit
strike
fucked
me
up.
as a type.
But like in this kind of space, this is different. We're here to take pictures. We're here to take videos. So if somebody, no matter where I am, if somebody stops me for a picture, I'm going to take a picture because I'm telling you, it's been now 11 years. That name starts to get forgotten. So if somebody goes, no, I know who you are. I want a picture. Hell yeah. Well, let's take videos. Let's take our clothes off. Let's do it. Take a picture of my ugly shoes so people know I was there.
Girl, those
I was there.
ugly. Comfy
So yeah.
couture.
What about you? Any celebrities?
Yesterday, I was walking around out of drag, doing some B-roll, and I met Daphne Guinness. Like,
Oh, okay.
she was like standing by Raja's booth. I think Raja was gone, and then like, I think they're friends. So I'm all like, oh my God, you have been my inspiration for so long. And she's like, okay, you are lovely yourself. I'm all, is that Versace you're wearing? I'm like, oh, how did you know? Thank you.
And there it was. And there it was.
And I'm all like, validation, girl.
Did you feel wonderful?
I felt so good. I'm like, I've been following you forever since I was a teenager. I would rip out Vogue pages and put it up on my wall.
I love it.
And that was my moment. I was like, oh, wow, this is kind of really empowering.
Yeah. It comes to fruition. Monistat, everyone, give it up for Monistat.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Am I done?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I love you. Find me sucking dick in the bathroom or the dumpster or eating some food.
She's awful. I'm Delta Work, and this is Mom Podcast.
Make some noise for Delta Work.
Thank you. Thank you.
M. Oh. M. Mom.